Town of Ayer Cemetery Commission, Monday, February 6th, 2023, 4:30 p.m. Open session in person and Zoom meeting agenda. This meeting or hearing of the Ayer Cemetery Commission will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while the option for remote attendance and or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. Public may have access to the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID number 836-7183-8286 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100 prior to the meeting. First item will call the meeting to order. We will review and approve the agenda.
So what do I say?
Somebody make a motion to approve the agenda as published.
I approve the amendment and public. This is it. I second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is review and approve the minutes meetings from January 10th, 2023. I didn't see these before. There's not a lot there.
You have to read them. Out loud?
No.
Oh.
I just wanted to take a quick look.
So do I sign one of these?
You will,
You
yeah.
will, yes, eventually. No, everything looks fine to me. I make a motion, we accept the minutes of the meeting, January 10th as published.
Second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Review minutes. Oh, here, you have to do that.
All right.
The date and then plan that.
Well, let me just do that.
File, thanks.
Next item on the agenda, review and discussion of Woodlawn Cemetery regulations and fees. We do.
So we'll do the fees first or the regular?
I suppose we can look at the fees. I'm not anywhere near done regulation. Not even close.
Okay. Well, he started.
Yeah.
He did. He started a draft.
Yeah,
Separate from this. Right? Well.
that is what I put together, that 11 by 17 you're looking at with the regulation comparison, that's what I.
That's a regular,
Together.
yeah, that's the
Right,
comparison.
you started the draft of heirs. It's a PDF, correct? This one?
That one,
Yeah. That.
that one's currently in place
That's in place, right?
right
Yeah.
now.
So that's what we need to go through.
So it.
What I was looking at.
I love Maynard's. It was done on a typewriter.
Well, I was trying to format something along this line, breaking it up, segmented,
Okay.
how
Different.
it's like our ZBA regulations, you got a purpose and layout and breaking it up into different components,
Yeah,
urns, coffins, green, breaking it all down.
Memorials. Parking, dogs, guns.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh, yeah. Children?
Yeah, I know that came up.
Picnics?
Yeah, what I had done was put together a spreadsheet and then kind of like each line where there was a similarity in a regulation, I put them on the same row.
Yeah,
And then I was thinking like we could look at these and kind of go through the, hey, does this seem appropriate for ours?
Okay.
Here's what the other one showed. Are there any other thoughts? And then like we could kind of. Line by line, that was my thought, but whatever works.
well, if you,
For the commission.
I think, yeah, the regulations. We really need to go through, but the cost comparison is low hanging fruit. I mean,
Right.
that's an easy one. We look at this and we say, okay, I guess the most basic thing is, what does it cost us to do it?
You said
Yeah.
1,100 last year.
Yeah, so I did put together actually, okay, I didn't send this out.
I can see the minutes if you read the minutes.
I did read the minutes. It said 1,100.
Yeah. But I think we should make it more than that.
Well, yeah, and somebody said, or was it last meeting, did you say? Somebody said, well, if it's too high, they'll go somewhere else.
Did you say that?
Who said that? Did somebody say that?
No, I don't know.
I vaguely remember
Well,
hearing
if
something.
they're all around the same as other towns, it shouldn't.
It just, well, it really doesn't matter. It's really not negotiable,
Put
to
this,
tell you the truth.
Together, sort of shows our costs.
Look at Harvard is only $850.
Take one, pass it around.
Oh, it's one, okay.
Yeah, this relates to.
Some of them, like Rockport, they said you had to live in Rockport for a
Yeah,
certain amount of
most of
time.
the towns say that.
Well, yeah, they-
I didn't see that in all of them. I didn't see that in Westford.
Yeah, you're right, Westford does not, they don't have.
But they've got what, 5 cemeteries?
Yes, they have 5.
Six.
Actually, and then there's 3 religious ones.
Is there really? So that's, there's cemeteries and graveyards.
Yeah.
There's both.
Yeah,
Right, some they're not using, they're pioneer.
they're old.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah,
but there's a
They were
Catholic and a Russian and something else. And then there's 6.
I saw it, yeah.
I think you got that on.
I think the pioneer ones were green burials.
Probably, and they're full, probably, I'm guessing,
Well, they're not that big.
yeah.
Yeah, so and because they have the green burial area in Westford, and they don't have a stipulation, it has to be a resident of town or former resident, they get calls from people all over the country.
Oh, have you
Yeah.
talked to-
I would imagine.
Yeah, actually, I went, last week, I went and met with Westford, just in general, discuss operations to help us on our end, the DPW, they talked a little green burial and stuff, and I got to see their operation a little bit. So they're kind of a good resource that'll help guide us.
We have to run that past the Board of Health, don't we?
Yeah,
And it's
Green
like,
burial, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say.
Is there-
Board of Health.
I don't remember seeing anything on any of our maps. Particularly when I remember when we were doing the gas station over there. I don't remember seeing any water into that.
Yeah, I did. I took a brief look for groundwater wise, and when the gas station went in, they put in a septic system.
Yeah,
And groundwater was, they did test pits and went 10 feet deep and didn't hit groundwaters, surprisingly, even though it's kind of.
because that was the major concern with green burials and
Well,
groundwater contamination.
Sam, I was wondering what you think might be contaminated in the human body.
Well, what do I think could be contaminated?
Yeah,
Well, not a physician, but I imagine that someone has died of leukemia or they've gone through
Cancer,
chemotherapy of some sort. There's been some pretty toxic chemicals introduced into a person's body that
Mhm.
could in fact go into groundwater
mhm,
if the body decomposes and it leaches.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I think it's a good question, and I'm wondering how long those chemicals are active in the body, or do they dissipate?
I don't-
These
well,
are
it-
big questions,
know.
like,
I don't think it's so much whether or not it dissipates, it's the chemicals don't break down. They stay, it's like, for all intent and purposes, like PFAS. Once you make it, it's there forever. When I lived in Western Mass, it was all, how was it out there? It was from the air base. Oh, no, it was from GE.
Yeah.
It wasn't PFAS, it was
PCBs.
PCBs, yeah.
Oh, wow.
PCBs, PCEs, yeah, and all the groundwater, huge cancer clusters out around the lakes out there because all the aquifer was contaminated.
Oh, boy.
So I'm pretty sure that there's,
That's a lot of pollution coming from a factory versus from human body. I would
well, no,
definitely-
what they did out there is the GE used to have their, transformers fabricated in Pittsfield.
Mhm.
And they had them overhauled there, and what they did is the PCBs were the coolant in the transformers.
Mhm.
So what they did is they sold the coolant. They had people haul it away. And what the people who hauled it away did is sprayed dirt roads with it. Oh, yeah. I remember when I was growing up, they used to spray the roads where I lived with
Because they were dirt roads.
dirt roads with leftover oil, you know. I mean, yeah, so groundwater contamination is a serious consideration. And that was even pointed out in the slide presentation that you sent us to look at it. When all the stuff that I've read, that was a major consideration,
Okay.
major
I
concern.
will look up some of that. Are you gonna look it up too, or should I call West?
About what?
I think,
Groundwater, if that's your.
Well,
if
that
that's
was,
your biggest
no, that was
concern.
one of the things that had pointed it out,
Yeah,
you know. And when Dan said there's no water within 10 feet, we're on, at the green burial, from what I read, was only 3.5 feet.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, we might be okay then.
Should be okay
I'm
then.
sure the board of health's gonna ask though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure, absolutely sure it will. So that part of it, it's, we have the answer before we get the question, so that's.
That's how we have to be.
You said the fees were 1,100? It cost us 1,100?
yeah,
How do we get to that?
so, so whenever we do a full burial, we have to have it excavated. The cost for that is $1,000. And then there's David's time to locate the burial, coordinate with the funeral company, et cetera, and that's about 100. So that's the $1,100 there for the burial. Then a winter burial, well, that's, and then might be charged more for that. So that's where we get to the 1,100.
So who does the excavating, DPW?
We do not right now. Right now, it's the same company that's doing the maintenance, but that is an operational change, which I can seek to make, which I think would be advantageous and save us money. We have the in-house ability.
You got a bucket, over there, you have a backhoe?
We have, yeah, we have a mini excavator, which is really what you need.
Yeah.
there. We have one at the water department, which is real close. It's right for a pond, so.
Yeah,
So it really should work out. I think the tough thing will be, a lot of it sometimes has to occur outside normal hours, so you just gotta work that out. You know.
Oh, wait, they talked about that too. There are no burials on holidays or weekends.
Right,
No digging.
I did make
Right.
notes on that,
Yeah.
right.
and usually if
And-
say, most burials around 10 to 11.
Yeah, and if it's out, like,
If you
one
go in
of
the
the towns was like
morning,
after
dig it out,
3 PM
like
is charged.
open and closing the same day.
Yeah, so I mean, we could,
That would make good use of town equipment. It's probably
Oh,
just
yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
Who pays for the vaults? Is that a separate charge?
that's not us, it's done through the
To the
funeral
funeral home.
home, yeah, so what, and.
They handle all that. They handle the death certificate, they handle all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for us, it's opening the excavation, the opening, and,
Well, I wonder when excavation be for a green burial and we could still charge the same and make some money,
It is,
especially if it's popular.
you will have to charge the same because you're gonna pay the same for the excavator.
But
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
going as deep.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Seriously.
It's a
That piece of
company.
equipment shows up on the
Oh,
ground.
it's getting
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
You're paying for that equipment.
You're paying
And
for
they don't care how big a hole you dig,
Right.
you know?
And if it's muddy out, you gotta put plywood down and. all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
so, yeah, I was looking at this today, and I put together a spreadsheet I just handed out. To
Yeah.
kind of show what our operating costs are, so the big table in the top left
Mhm.
shows right now our annual maintenance cost, item 1. That's our agreement with the landscape company to do all the mowing, cleanups, et cetera. That's
And-
23,300.
And digging,
No, that does
Oh.
not include, digging is a case by case basis.
so that's just for lawn mowing?
Right,
That's a problem.
right, and what happens is, municipalities have to pay the prevailing wages, and that basically doubles the cost. in our
So
typical.
DPW would have a lawn mower?
We do, but we haven't.
Question, Betsy.
I haven't really pushed or looked into having us take over that operation at this point, because we have a lot of other things to take care of.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know how much of a time take up it would be on our end. I mean, there's potential that could be.
Well,
something
St.
that we
Mary's-
do.
Doesn't seem economically feasible though. If you're only paying 23 grand for the year,
Yeah, but
What
that
if we-
includes snow, it's just.
what it would cost you to use your own people to do, I think between salary, benefits and equipment. You're gonna go over to 23 grand,
Yeah, probably.
But that's 2,000 a month,
yeah.
a lot.
But what do you do in the wintertime?
In the winter, there really isn't much.
So the
Maintenance done.
23 is really only for 6 months,
Like 2,500.
So during the mowing season.
roughly, yeah.
Yeah,
Betsy, let's
Remember this,
one month.
There's a fall, it should be a fall cleanup, because you don't want to be moving
Right,
leaves.
right.
Yeah.
If it snows and the snow comes down.
Yeah,
The biggest time consuming thing is at cemetery is carrying around all the head stuff.
with
Right,
the
that's the-
weed whacker, yeah.
Weed whacking around all of that.
Those are pretty big yards. If you look
Yeah.
at both sides,
I know,
not just the one side, but you look at both sides of it. There's a fair amount of real estate there.
It's a good
No,
point.
what I'm getting at St. Mary's thing. where I-
St. Mary's is huge,
What did they do then?
relatively speaking.
Well, the guy who mowed it would charge $700 or $800 each time he mowed.
For the whole St. Mary's?
Mhm. And
Yeah.
he would weed whack?
Wow.
Maybe we should be hired, but that may not be.
Well, ours is-
Wait.
ours is at a,
No, because he's not, they're not using,
it is quantity, it's based on each mowing is like
right,
1,000 or 1,500 bucks. I forget what it is. So if like this year there was the drought, so they didn't have to mow as much, so we didn't
Right.
spend quite, we're not gonna spend up to that 23
Yeah,
grand number, but that's the line item for the annual
Yeah.
maintenance.
but are these fiscal? What, they're just fiscal year or calendar year,
This is fiscal year,
okay.
which is July 1 to June
uh,
30, but
yeah.
I don't know how much it would
Wow.
change, it's still going over. it
Wow,
this
the number
season.
of burials per year.
Yeah, so-
Whoa, up and
Yeah, so
down.
burial wise, item 2, so full burial, which I mentioned, $1,100 per opening, and that includes the cemetery superintendent's time. As we noted, or I'll get into it later.
Yeah.
So I look back in time, if you look in the bottom, number 2, the number of burials we've been doing at Woodlawn.
Yeah.
So over the past, since 2011, there's an average of 11.4, median's 11, so about 11 burials a year. Some years are real high, some are low. So then I put in here's about what you'd see in a year, where you see the yellow highlight in item 2, assume 7 full burials a year.
Mhm.
I added a couple winter burials, 8,100. And then ash burials over a year, you see about a $1,600 cost. Per ash burial, it's $350 currently charged, or how much it costs us on our end to perform an ash burial.
Okay, yeah.
Do we do a lot?
This year we did what, 3? I don't know what you typically see when you bid, but. We did more
In
full burials this year.
2021, there was a lot. There was 3 people that had died, passed away the previous year from COVID. Those are the only 3 that were carryovers, and just, it was a lot. I think it was 13
Ash. That's right. Wow. And actually, when I, now down below in number 1, I was kind of looking at that, how much, what percentage of burials are cremation and what are traditional full burials? And the trend is more cremations.
Yeah.
57.5, this is nationwide. 57.5% of burials cremations, 36.6% traditional. The other 6%, it didn't indicate what it was, but green burials are.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, that doesn't seem to be the only other option.
Yeah, right.
Well, it looks like we're losing money.
Yeah, so the real item, so when you look at item number 4, the ash vault. So when somebody approaches the Woodlawn Cemetery for an ash burial, there is a charge for the ash vault, and David keeps those in stock and ready. And there's 3 different sizes, so I assume, if there's 4 ash barrels a year, do 4 medium vaults, there's a cost.
Okay.
Excuse me, do we have to bring the backhoe in for those?
No, those are hand
Who did
by
that?
David. Yeah.
It's not one thing,
How long did it take?
about 30 minutes,
Oh,
give
okay.
or take.
Yeah.
Does the ash burial plot size is, it's not the same as,
A lot of time it's on top of the natural old vault.
I read you can do that, but you can't do it the other one.
Correct.
You can't put a,
There was one
and then a
burial,
casket on top of it.
there was one burial, older woman. Her husband passed away. He didn't care if it was ashes or not. He passed away, the ashes put in the ground. The urn was too big to fit in the vault. So the urn is in the ground. And she wants him to be with her. When the idea is, I didn't tell this one to Dan yet, but the idea was like for him to come out of the ground and go with her.
In her casket?
Yeah.
You can do it, but
Yeah,
somebody needs to know.
yes.
Yeah,
There's one time it happened and we found out the hard way.
They were in there digging.
No, they came in, they wanted to know where so-and-so was buried because. The husband passed, oh, it was the husband, but the wife passed away, and then they need to know. Cause they had also both of them, the names go on the headstone. It's like, well, wait a minute, only one passed away, and like, no, they both passed away. Come find out, the urn was with the husband and wife. Well, you can do it, you just have to inform the cemetery.
I
The
thought, no,
cemetery
I remember reading something about the state and disinterring, is that what they call it?
Mhm.
Yeah, you,
Yeah, there's a.
there's a mass law about that. You can't do that.
Yeah, there's certain.
You have to,
Process.
yeah,
Yeah.
to dig them back up.
Yeah,
But does that count for ashes?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't think that you need,
That's kind of,
That would be
that's really splitting hairs. I mean,
I don't think it'll be necessary to disinter the man.
But-
Oh.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, a body is different than.
Well,
ashes.
technically, he's going back in the same lot.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Let's go back and see more.
There are a lot of details.
okay. So want me to continue with
Yeah.
quick here, so other operational expenses, item number 5. There are supplies, not much that we need, and also David has labor with some general upkeep out there. So that's kind of an estimated number of $3,000. So our estimated cost of annual maintenance just down below items 1 and 5 really combined. That's around 26,000, but this is what we're kind of interested in now. Annual cost of burials, items 2, 3, and 4. We're looking at about just over $10,000. So I looked at that, and then if you look in the table to the top right. So here's what our current fees are generating based on these annual estimates of 7 full burials and 4 ash burials and buildings. We generate about $8,080 as opposed to the 10,180 needed. And really, that if you go down to the next table, model fee generation, that's really just a result of the full burial being $300 less
So technically,
in our fee.
we could consider the fees separately, and we could raise the fees right now.
I'm pretty sure that it has to be recommended, the select board would have to process wise, but
Okay.
yeah, but
Well, we can recommend, we can give them, say, this is
Yeah.
what we want to do.
yeah, I know the regulations do it. I think the fees are part of that regulation. I just,
You
I'll
don't
confirm
think
with
we can
Robert. but
separate them? Why
I
not?
think
What do you
it's-
mean separate?
If we raise the fees right now, then we can at least help the bottom line and
We
then
can.
continue working on the
Right,
regulations.
Absolutely, yes,
It's like-
yes, yes, yeah. I didn't know what you were separating, yeah.
Yeah, we could,
That's basically black and white, I mean,
I move that we.
Don't jump off the bridge
I
yet.
suggest right now, maybe
Yes, sir.
today, we could agree on fees and then,
Before you raise the fees, this suggestion is actually to my wife. So the cost of a lot, you keep it, don't go up too much on it. And then you raise the cost of the opening.
Or the perpetual care amount.
Yeah, so that's-
Either way,
That's what some of them do.
yeah, so that's kind of, if you look at the bottom table I have.
really kind of misleading.
So we looked at the costs for burials, that was these other tables, but this bottom is lot sale proceeds, so whenever we sell a lot, here's the current cost. There's a price for the lot of 600 and perpetual care of 200. So it's sort of separate from the burial process, the operations of the burial and the cost to do that. So we are receiving funds when a lot is sold, like, but if you notice, I wrote a note down below that table of lot sale proceeds. We've only sold 6 lots to date. Most of the burials to date already had a lot,
Yeah,
so they were already sold. And only 3 of those 6 that we've sold have a burial has occurred, and so the other 3 are for future use.
is the professional care money in a separate account?
So that's my understanding, and I want to talk to our finance manager to get a better understanding of how that works. It is a separate
It
account.
was, how it is now, I don't know.
Yeah, and with Mass General Law, that's what I understand is you have a perpetual care account where this money goes to, and it kind of builds up in there, builds interest, and then you can use it toward perpetual care and maintenance of the cemetery.
Right.
But we're paying basically for perpetual care to subcontractors.
Right. So, and that's coming out of the general, fund. So I kind of want to.
Well, this
Yeah,
perpetual
right.
care is a one-shot deal, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
when you sell the lot,
right,
you sell the lot for $600 and they pay $200 for perpetual care. If that's a 20-year lifespan, is it $10 a year?
Yeah,
right.
it's not-
Essentially, that's the only time.
That's the only time you
when
get
they buy a
perpetual
lot,
care.
They pay for the perpetual care, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, my understanding of that, finance wise, municipal finance wise, I want to talk to our finance manager to get a better grasp on how that account works versus, right now. Our budget comes out of the general fund, which is where everything, the annual maintenance, the burials, they're all coming from. So,
Yeah,
Where does all the income go? General fund?
yeah. But I think when we sell a lot, though, 200 of it is supposed to go to this perpetual care fund rather than to the general
I
fund.
would think it'd be its own cost center.
So,
that's
see, I
the
don't,
thing.
I don't understand it completely yet, and that's what I heard.
If you look at the
Yeah.
Shirley town that I did there, their perpetual care is more than the shots to the grave are.
David, how come your wife wants to say that suggestion? It's still, at the end of the day, it's still more money.
Yes, but thing is, what you guys don't see is when someone calls me and I tell them, oh, this is the cost of this, and then this is the cost of the opening. That's a lot of money.
Go buy a casket.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Well, another thing is, I know. With funeral homes, like for Brian's, they, you pay as you go or you prepay. The town really needs to think about being able to buy a lot and pay so much over a period of time. Because PI said, and then you gotta figure out the contract on it, how you do it.
Well, most of the ones that I was reading on, you can't be buried unless you're.
Unless it's paid.
Yeah, it's paid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be the bottom line.
That should be it, yeah.
We
Like,
finance them?
No,
no, not finance it, like you pay your water bill, your tax bill, pay so much over a year, right? So you gotta pay so much on the lot over a period of time.
So we're financing the lot.
Yeah.
No, they,
if they're not
you like
buried.
an escrow account,
You mean purchased in advance lots?
you could, people have done that. But say I wanna buy a lot next to so-and-so, but I only have $200 to give to it, and you give $200 and you set up, you're gonna pay so much over.
Oh,
Period of time.
How do you-
I cannot give us a lot till the lot is paid off.
How do we do that? Who handles all that?
All the
I
billing.
don't know, it's here in the town hall.
Yeah.
That don't seem like a good idea at all.
yeah, I prefer it, it'd be easier for us. To
Yeah.
have that,
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you could have a hardship clause for certain people, which I don't know if I want to have done.
yeah, this, I know, there isn't. I think there is a hardship section.
It's there.
in
And what
cemetery,
in this cemetery?
I believe so,
There's town lot next to Denny's, Wendy's.
Wendy,
How it works is up to the town.
Yeah.
I think we already went through it when the ash burial,
I kind of,
last year.
There's the town section.
yeah, if a person who dies is.
indigent.
Indigent, then they can't afford it and they've got no relatives, then the town made it very. Right? That's what I-
Yeah.
It was only that one ash burial.
And you don't really need to bury ashes. Go spread them.
Yeah, you kind of got to be careful doing
Be careful
that.
with that.
Yeah,
Can't do it.
Can't.
I know.
Can't spread them at sea, can't jump out of an airplane, you can't, yeah.
yeah,
But
It gets done, but you gotta be careful how you do it.
I like the idea of charging more for a non-resident. Especially what if green burials, if we adopt green burials, that could be a way to bring in income for the town. If Westford gets calls from all over the country.
Well, that brings a couple different points to mind. I mean. What do we're limited. We have a finite amount of real estate.
Yeah.
right?
right,
That we haven't used all
It doesn't matter how much you use, it's how much you've got left. And
of.
if you look at what being said about on an average of 11 a year, how far out does that go? And our regulations right now stipulate is or was a resident.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
like right near the top.
Yep.
Or might be.
Ah, that's
So, yeah,
Yeah, the very first one, lots may be purchased by past and present residents of there.
I don't
so
have that.
that, do we want to open it up for any and
I
all?
don't know that, but that table here has it.
Sorry,
It had been,
This
but
table has it for air.
I was only
Yeah,
one
number one.
first, one lots, two lots was sold, I can remember
yeah,
that. When it got opened up to non-residents,
well, how did it close up again?
town took over.
So from the time the town took over last fall, this regulation changed to be residents only? Really?
It used to
It
be-
was only open like maybe 5 years. So, I don't know how long. At least
Yeah, I
5 years,
remember
and there was just one, two lots to be purchased.
And how long do you have to live in there? You know,
Doesn't say.
Right,
I know. So we better, I think we should
Some of them,
specify.
yeah, some of them,
Rockport.
yeah, one of them was what, 20 years?
right, so that's, yeah, that's getting. into-
1 year.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
probably are running out of land. Like you said,
well,
Sam.
do you have an idea when you'd be done with your mapping?
Let me check with the engineer where she's at with it, but it's gonna take her a while. We. So, well, anyway, in section 5 is not divided out yet, anyway, right, David?
right,
There's
In the
8
lot.
lots that are sold, but
The remaining back area, I mean, we could check what build out would be, like if you went.
That was my-
maximum
that was-
build.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about,
Yeah,
how far, I mean,
section 5, that's not,
so we haven't
Built out
filled up,
yet.
and we filled,
Oh,
so
yes,
this
that-
is full
yeah,
over
that's
here,
basically full.
but we still have this. to
Section
fill
4,
or Finish,
we have that to finish, so that's where ongoing burials typically occur.
okay,
And section 5 is the next section,
and it
for
goes,
burials that goes all the way up to
there.
Devon's
oh,
Crest.
that'll take a.
So you could
100
literally do a maximum, I mean, you could do a maximum build scenario and see how many
Yeah.
spots there are.
Right.
And then sort of factor that into perpetual care.
Right,
I would think, yeah.
Yeah,
Not only perpetual care, but if you look at it. Again, if you're looking at your 11 burials a year, I'd be escalating that burial cost over the course of a couple of years, every
Yeah.
third year, every
Yeah,
fifth year,
because-
whatever.
if the annual maintenance is supposed to come out of perpetual care, that's.
Well, yeah, that just, it can't.
It can't, right,
You don't have that kind of money going into perpetual
No.
care. I
Right.
mean, okay, so you did 11 burials this year, so that's $2,200.
Well, it's a good reason to restrict it to Air residents, because we're paying taxes, we might as well some benefit from our
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah,
Okay, so I think, in short, but for my table here, essentially all that it came down to was the full burial fee. You know, should be increased to 1,100, you could do that right now. And then ongoing, we could be looking at all the fees that Betsy put together, including what we we're just talking about perpetual care and what changes we want to make to that, but. To break even at this point, that full burial cost really should be up to 1,100.
I think it should be higher.
I do too.
I'm thinking somewhere between 14 to 15.
Well, we could just add it, okay, 1,100 and then say grave opening fee. And the cremation grave opening fee and do it there. Perpetual care, just add some fees on.
well, are you saying that,
So currently where this is blank, that is
Yeah.
actually 800.
so. So if you want to sell a lot for 800. 2 of that is perpetual care, so it's actually 6 and 2.
6 and 2, yeah.
But then grave opening that's gonna change over time.
That has to change. There's two different, we're dealing with two different fees,
Right,
fee structures.
so.
One of them for the lot and the
Mhm.
perpetual care, and the other one for the opening
Mhm.
and
Right.
closing.
Right, so that should not be included with them, right,
No,
so I'm,
so what are we gonna ask for the lot with perpetual care?
I think.
The ones I bought out in Westfield, I paid $1,500.
Yeah, I think it
Does
should
that
be at
include
least that.
Perpetual care,
I would assume so.
yeah, I'm thinking, leave the 8. And make it 7, that's.
For perpetual care,
What do you think?
And then you don't charge for an opening fee?
No, yeah, you still have to do that after.
well,
Let's look at what the
I
others.
think,
have done.
a lot of these are lower.
well, Groton's 15, Groton's 1550,
Plus
Milton's
900.
1,000. Plus,
If you look.
it's all plus,
Yeah,
It's
plus,
Yeah.
yes, everything's got
so
Sure.
you,
perpetual care
I
has
would-
nothing to do with the ground opening,
no, I would suggest that a lot be $1,000 and perpetual care be 500.
that's a good, okay.
I think at least,
Yeah,
at least.
That would be
And-
my thought.
that sounds good.
But then what about the opening?
No,
fee?
let's
That's separate,
let's finish this one first before we jump over.
So you're saying 1,000.
That would be my suggestion.
I'm okay with 1,100, like Dan said.
Well, no, we're not talking about the same thing. 1,100 is for the opening.
Here, what's this one?
1,000.
1,000.
Okay, so we still have time to add more.
You-
Okay,
we're
so
talking
1,000
about-
there.
Just
A
the
piece of property,
property.
Okay,
the dirt.
like if I bought it right now, it'd be $1,000.
Plus.
Not unless you change, no, it'd be $800. If you bought it right now,
It's true. I better get in now.
No, so if you were to buy it afterwards, it'd be 1,500
total,
total.
1,500, 1,000 for the lot and 500 for
Yeah,
If I'm
perpetual.
buying it in advance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anytime after, when we ready. See, the
Right.
800, I didn't have it, I should have had it 6 and 2.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
we knew
I
that.
see.
We knew it was
all right.
62.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Okay,
All right,
Yeah.
so changing it from 6 and 2, you go 1,005.
we have to. I think it's fine. And then opening fee.
Well, let's,
Sorry.
does,
Oh,
let me ask a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Do, the cost per grave lot? We have two different size lots, no?
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
I thought the urn was a smaller lot.
You know, you buy,
no.
from what I understand, you buy the
Well,
lot,
basically 10 by 3.
4 by 10 or 3 by 10?
So you
3 by
put
9?
in, well, no, it says 4 by, it
So
says
I
4
put-
by 10.
That's what I put, I wasn't sure.
Oh,
What size?
it's smaller than
It's basically 3 feet by 10 feet.
3 feet by 10 feet?
that. Okay,
That's the size. It gives you. That's the size of basically of the vault.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Vault, just under 3 feet.
Yeah.
It's just under 8 feet and give you like a little bit of room at the head and a little room at the foot and head is.
For markers.
headstone.
Right,
right.
so you buy a lot like that, okay, so you got the head here, Okay, in this lot, you have a choice of one casket and one cremation,
If the cremation's on top.
off the
Okay.
cremations on top. Or we can decide on how many cremations you can put in there.
So this is how your lots are broken into,
Oh, okay,
10 grade lots, so this is. 496. So these are all spoken for, whether someone's in it or not, I can't read upside down. This one's available,
and that's one lot with eight,
That's-
9,
this
10?
is the lot,
Oh.
That's a great.
that's a
Oh,
great
those are
lot.
great. Well,
J
okay,
is what's available in that lot.
oh, cause I always thought a lot was just one grade.
That's what I thought. That's the way, that's the way they
So
did that.
someone
Westfield.
bought J, well, I don't know how town did it yet, doing now, but it would buy 496 J.
Mhm.
That's what the deed, that's what the deed should say,
Okay,
Mhm.
because all these have been spoken for.
so one lot is 10 graves?
That's how they set it up way back when.
Yeah,
But
That doesn't make any,
Now
that
they
doesn't
broke
make
it.
any sense at
They
all.
broke it down into, they kept the 10 lots,
Mhm.
10 grave lots, but you buy individual grave.
Okay, but so when they were selling it as 10 grave lots, was it the $800 for the 10 grave?
Oh, no, they were,
Okay,
the one there was like $40.
but it was,
oh, on the old side,
but you
yeah.
would pay, if it were 10 graves, and it was $40, you'd pay $400. You wouldn't pay
Way
40.
back, I don't know what the date was on that.
No, but are you talking about?
But if you want to buy 10 grave lots, now you pay $800 a piece.
For each lot.
Each
Okay,
grave,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, each grave.
Yeah, so I think that should be part
Well,
of it.
I don't understand that. I mean, I hear what you said, but I don't understand why we did that. Why, is it for,
When on the old
Layout?
side. Whoever drew up the 10 grave lots. There could be one person, there could be a whole family in there. You had to buy that whole lot. Things have changed back from late 1800s, early 1900s. People move up,
People
Move
move
away.
up, they have smaller families.
small families.
So now when we sell a lot, you're selling one grave. Right,
One grave
would
at a
you
time.
call it one grave lot?
Sam, I
yeah,
think
that's, it's semantic.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we could make
Oh,
definitions in our
Yeah,
regulations.
that's what I would call it, a
Straighten
grave
that out.
lot.
Yeah, great, and that's,
Because when somebody buys
Grave
they
lot.
want to buy a grave, you're talking to 10.
no, a lot.
No,
If you wanna buy a lot, it's 10, but a grave,
Is
A
a
grave
thing.
lot,
right?
a grave lot
Yeah.
is a single.
We really need to
Because-
define that.
People have bought 10 graves. But the way it is, it may be so much of this one and so much of that one. So it could be part of 500 and part of 501. Because lots were sold up so far in 500 and then the other remaining available lots are in 501.
Wow. We need a schematic of that.
Yeah,
Well, that's,
I mean,
I got this book and like I said. We sold 4 lots so far since
Yeah.
January. It was easy. So I'm gonna go right here because it's gonna be easiest to get to. And then we on the other side, person passed away, they got a lot. And then someone else passed away, I guess, like a week later, they wanted to buy 2 lots next door. So the grave was open on Thursday, burial was on Saturday.
those are all, there's really 10 graves. And
Yeah, so it's like, is that what this is? So
Yeah.
there's 10 in each one of these, but then when you get up here, these are individual.
So I don't
I
know.
haven't figured that one out yet. Those, I don't think those.
So if there's 10 in each one, there's 10 in each one of all of these,
So they won.
these are all sold,
Yes.
this is what.
How many of them?
Oh, the road, it's not.
So.
Yeah, and that's like, I believe, so there's a section.
Driveway.
But
Yeah,
it was
big
full
thing.
here, so it was.
But this is,
We
we're currently developing this in our GIS.
And then those
Yeah.
next one.
Much easier
Yeah.
to see where
So
these
these
are,
blue
what's available.
here,
Right by the road, they want all
this is,
individual.
this is
Ten.
like in front of the sign or along the sign.
Mhm.
So Mr. Berry, the Berry lot's right here, so this is in front of it.
Who's
I
gonna
don't really
accompany?
understand why we, why that was done. That just doesn't make any sense at all.
Maybe that can.
It's a long story.
Like you said,
Steve Berry's
families, they, I don't know.
right here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
But each of these can hold 10 graves.
They buy a lot for the whole family
And
together, like,
so we put
that's
some,
why at the beginning of these, you'll see one big headstone that says the family name.
and
And
then.
I think they got little individual flat markers. for each family member, you know, yeah.
Section, where's section 5?
I don't have,
It's on the other side of the street.
no, it's behind
It's here, like.
section, that's the fence. No, water fence. It's up there.
And it's has trees.
So when
One
you- the thing that
tree
you're
is
doing
like
it, you're already.
here.
Like, so.
And then it's Stuff on the side and stuff.
It's a map.
Dan
It's
said
a-
with the.
Yeah, it's like a GIS map, so it actually, it'll show the location of all the graves
How much?
on it, and you can click on it, see who's buried there. And then we
Someone
can
wants to buy
label it,
lots,
so
so
show
we're-
ones that are occupied, ones that are available,
Okay,
based
So
on
I'd
the
be
way
very nice to
that's
someone's,
done.
this is what's in there.
And you know, we could
Then you
modify
show them
those
this.
too as well.
I show them
The commission
that's-
Has a purview.
You know, how many lots you want?
I don't know, yeah, I think in any way we,
Here.
but I don't know
These
what other
represent-
constraints there are on that.
Room.
Obviously, the board's health involved, but
Burial, section 5.
what
Yeah.
kind of information are you putting on this?
You gotta start one whole.
I mean, the name.
Reserve one
details?
whole spot.
yeah, PDF of the C.
Whatever you want to use.
Oh,
Yeah, date of burial.
It's-
size
it didn't
and
seem like that much.
location, Feet by stuff.
Yeah, right, and you actually put a Put a,
It's not cheap.
graphic of the casket or the ash burial, kind of approximately where it is.
Haven't even bought the
You know,
car.
going forward, it'll be
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah,
Can you take that GIS map and walk out there and this is where I am? You can't do that, can you?
not yet.
Not yet, you technically would be able to, but it's hard to get that accurate with the map. And what we really need to do, and Westford does this, is you need to put an individual marker.
That's what
marking that.
Westfield did too. So every, you know, they
Section this.
they go
road that.
out and they got their little metal detector and said, okay,
Yeah,
here's this
That's
one and
exactly what they had.
and put it right at the
Yeah.
head. This is where it goes.
yeah, so like 496J, there would be like a little round marker there.
Yep,
And it's actually, it was in the Mass General laws, you're supposed to have that, so.
yeah, I
That's
saw that.
something we'll have to
Right,
get going.
but is that something that's on the corner of the?
No, it's not even in there.
I don't know where exactly you.
That's what I used to do,
I think
is
they-
put 4 markers on the corner.
Westfield put one marker on, it's right in the center of the head.
Then
That's what they did theirs.
I don't know what.
That's where, because that's where you put the headstone, right in the center of the head.
Yeah,
Which depends on what size of the plot it is.
but yeah, I just want to be consistent.
No, there's
where we
lots
put
of-
it, so
all
you
their
know
lots
what it is.
Yeah,
All their lots were the same size.
yeah,
They're all graves, what do you want to call
very well, yeah.
And did she live in Westfield?
them? We both did, yeah.
Okay.
So we have to decide.
Ironically, I was only for a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
So our size is 3 feet by 10.
Mhm.
Do you think we could come to agreement on this tonight? Because I think every time we sell a grave, we're losing money. I don't like it, you know, we're subsidizing it right
But we
now.
have to get this approved by.
Well, we presented to them.
Yeah, hopefully that's presented to the select board. I think this is a good start, and I could look into kind of the max build scenario more in the perpetual fee, but I think in the meantime, we should change the fee anyway, and we can always change it again.
Yeah.
when we
I agree with that.
get information.
So do we need to pile on some more fees here?
Well, we're talking, well, one other thing we're covering right now is the cost of the grave lot
Right, I thought we agreed 1,000.
Yeah.
with 500 for perpetual care.
Right,
Yeah.
and do we want to consider the
Opening fees.
Yeah.
What are they currently?
It's
$1,100.
$800 the
Oh.
fee, the cost for us to do it's 1,100.
We don't have an opening fee now, correct?
No, we do, it's 800.
$800.
Oh, we
Where is
do, I didn't realize that.
Oh, here.
It's the same price, the full burial and lot price is just 800. But anyway, that's, yeah,
Full burial open, same price.
Casket. So
So,
they
no,
take
look,
this-
the full burial that we
Green
had,
barrel opening, okay, 800.
800, and the opening is the same as the lot.
And the ash barrel opening is 350.
Yeah,
I see.
Oh,
So are you saying we should increase those?
Yes,
I would, yeah, certainly the burial grave opening should go to at least 1,100, so we're break even, and the ash burial we're currently right at break even with the 350.
why break even?
Yeah,
We're not breaking even.
you wanna make money. Cause
Or-
you're gonna have the extra money it's supposed to pay for all the maintenance
Mhm.
Yeah,
and stuff like that, so.
What are the other towns?
um,
they're only at 706.
Six, well, St. Mary's
Harvard.
at 16, 1,200 for St. Mary's and St. Anthony's, Groton is 900.
But 1,500, well, it's included, that's what we're now charging.
What?
No, you're looking at this, no, the next,
No.
So
The
if you
fourth
look at
column
the
over.
the first two, 1,500,
That's-
we're now up
yeah,
1,500.
but we're
for first
talking
two.
about opening, the opening,
And they're only charging 900, hey,
9 and 4, oh, that's 40,
yeah,
900 for open,
I,
plus they charge extra for Saturdays.
yeah.
And 300, I said, jackhammer? She said, yeah, there's a lot of ledge up there. Or winter
where was this?
in Groton.
Hmm.
So I don't know how much it costs them, but that's what they're charging. So if it costs the town of Ayer,
If it costs us $1,100, we need to go at least to 1,200.
I agree, if
Yeah.
not 1,300.
yeah,
And so what if we're the most expensive on here? It's just,
I don't imagine there's a line waiting to get in.
no,
Um, I would speculate, okay, $1,200 for the full burial and 500 for the ash burial.
yeah, that sounds good.
And then we do have winter burial charge of 200,
Adding 200 to anything.
Yeah,
which is that we have that in place, which I.
you have, use infrared heaters before you dig, is that what you're doing?
Propane,
Well, propane driven and infrared heat. I
Yeah,
do, I do a lot with pouring concrete in the winter. We have to thaw it, so we have large infrared heaters that are fed off of propane tanks.
right,
So you know,
there's this thing, they call it the Big Bertha. You stick it in the hood and get it going, and
and then,
if you turn it up all the way, it can thaw it out in about 4 hours.
and it's
Probably
about-
less, because we haven't had that kind of frost in a while.
it's bigger than a casket, right? It's huge. It's like
It's,
a-
no,
it's a table.
it looks big, but it's not, it's just big enough.
So it's 3 feet wide by 10 feet long, roughly?
No,
Oh,
maybe 3 feet by, maybe, 8 feet.
no. Yeah, because you don't have to dig the whole thing.
'Cause you gotta dig, it radiates out, and you gotta dig that extra out.
Okay. Yeah,
so what's your charge for that?
for the winter, I'm just looking at the winter opening.
Yeah,
should we add more than $200?
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, 400 to 600 looks like.
Yeah,
What's it cost to bring it over? Have that done? What's the fee?
Does
Right
he-
now, it's David does it, so it's really
You do
his time,
It's just you?
yeah,
and the cost of the propane.
right, which comes out of our supply budget, which
budget.
is like $53 to fill a tank. How much of a tank do you use to, like one of your?
Are these the little tanks that you use? for-
No, it's a 100-gallon tank,
Oh, big
Yeah, pretty
gallon.
big,
Okay.
a quarter to a half.
yeah.
How many?
Quarter to a half.
That tank.
Well, I would
Oh,
suggest
okay.
400 to 500 for a number, if not 6. 400 to 600.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I think, yeah, I think we're,
Should we go in the middle, 500? for-
500 for a winter burial, I would think.
You know, I wonder if they charge the stores at the, funeral home, if they don't do it. I don't know.
There's been times when the vault next to Wendy's was had quite a few gaskets in them.
And that was no charge? Well, I think we should charge storage for that.
The thing is,
How do you do
the
that?
storage is because you can't open the ground.
It's too hard, it's beyond the Bertha.
Yeah.
Melt is beyond the ground, the cemetery getting cleared.
Yeah, if there's too much snow. you can't
Most
find
last
it.
time that you had a lot of snow.
2015.
Fire back in 2015.
And then it's cold enough, maybe the body is frozen in that, spot in the casket. Oh, no,
I don't know. I just know St. Mary's garage was full
It was years
and this
ago.
was, and the vault was the overflow.
Right, that was a long time.
there've been some cold winters, snowy winters.
Not those last couple of years,
No,
no.
I know, climate change. All right, so are we ready? for
I would
motion?
think.
So who writes this up? Me?
No, it's gonna have to come from Dan.
And it's,
Mhm.
it'll go in the
And
minutes,
it has to go to
goes in the minutes.
the select board.
Right,
So this is what we're proposing, do we like do a big motion?
You wanna make a motion on
Yeah,
that,
if
would you
it comes
ask
in
them?
Yeah, do we do
motion,
that?
Can we? Sure we can.
yeah, and it goes in the minutes,
Minutes. Okay,
and then you write it up, present it to the select board, and then they approve it.
yeah,
Okay,
okay. I'll make a motion to raise the sale of the grave lot from 800. No, 600 to 1,000. Perpetual care from 2 to 500.
okay.
Yep. You gonna do it all at once, or you wanna do two of them?
No, I think we should do it all at once.
Yeah,
One
and
motion.
then
Keep
the
going.
casket opening to 1,200.
Yeah.
And the cemetery opening to 500. And adding
Whoa,
The-
no.
The cremation,
cremation, what did I say?
500.
Cemetery.
Oh, sorry, cremation to 500. And adding 200 to either one on winter.
Oh, I thought it was
No.
500 for winter.
We were going to 500 for one.
Yeah,
Probably said.
No,
you
you
said
didn't.
200.
You said
It's
200
been
for each.
200.
Hmm,
It's
Okay.
okay, I'm
So,
writing.
Whatever winter opening, be it
12, what,
full burial or ash.
ask, you're gonna
Is
add,
just $500 to the winter.
add
Okay.
$500.
I'm gonna
to the winter.
Keep back what I'm putting in the notes.
Okay,
1,000 to buy a grave. 500 from 200 to 5, I don't have to put the past, I'm just gonna put the new.
500.
500,
Perpetual care.
Okay, casket opening fee 1,200, cremation opening fee 500, and a winter burial 500.
Additional.
Additional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus 500.
All right, I second the motion.
No, you made the
You
motion.
made the motion.
You made it. I just
No,
repeated
she holds it up. You corrected it, so it's your motion.
Your
Okay,
motion.
all right.
And then I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
So when
aye. sorry,
everything's all said and
unanimous.
done and it's approved by the town.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get you, lucky one to send out letters to the surrounding funeral homes.
yeah,
And you're also gonna post it online too, right?
right, we would make any changes where the current fees are located,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But we just haven't, we haven't done, we got a little bit of work to do on the regulations.
Yeah.
and it's 5:30, so I don't know how far we want to go on the meeting.
So one suggestion, what they used to do is, before the meeting, the board of directors would walk through the cemetery. Walk through the cemetery, you see things,
Before every meeting?
they would try,
How many-
sometimes they
Why?
walk,
I mean-
go through there together,
How often would they meet? Quarterly?
quarterly. Three times or 4 times a year.
Right, I mean, that's our goal, is
Yeah.
to meet 3 or 4 times. Right now, it seems like a lot, we're only meeting we're meeting monthly.
But this is a lot to.
But just, you should go through and just look and see, like bushes always supposed to be so high. I've taken out several bushes because they just got out of control. Through the family.
You're one man band now?
No, I cut the veterans lot and trimmed the bushes, that's it. Not the one man band.
No, we have someone else for the
Yeah.
care,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the maintenance, but
And
you're,
how did
but you're
that-
overseeing, do you have anybody
Put it in?
helping you, he said?
Yeah, with bid, there's no bid. they will-
When-
Yeah.
So you're,
He's one man there.
okay.
So when do you ask?
Haven't
for
got-
the bids?
I'll probably get
Out of
something,
control yet,
receive something in May,
beyond,
Okay.
yeah, so we can,
How many
Do
hours?
you
a
advertise
week?
it on the paper?
it depends.
yeah, this
Your contract.
Laws we gotta
So
follow.
when can we get all the rings? 2021?
To, go into the next select board meeting, is that
Trim the
what?
bushes.
Yeah, we on the
Right,
21st.
Every week.
So they're meeting tomorrow night. We can't get anything into that agenda.
Okay.
So they would meet on the
I'd like to be, I'm in Mexico the 21st.
Um,
Do you think you need to be there?
I'd like to be,
I think there's hybrid still, right?
I think you do.
kind of a tough call.
Yeah.
It is the internet. Well, what about if one of us went or both?
No, I would just like to be there in case they ask any questions. Dan can answer it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just
that's why there's
more-
three of us, so if you can't do
More
it,
or less, it's moral support, to be honest.
Yeah.
well then, what if Betsy and I went, is that enough?
That's fine.
The 21st, what, is that a Monday?
They meet on Tuesdays at 6. That's when they meet.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, first and third Tuesday of the month at 6.
So we would make recommendations to the board, to the select board.
Yeah.
These are recommended fee changes.
Yeah, yeah,
I would say from two. And if they're gonna ask why, tell them why.
yeah, we can, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I usually write up a memo and kind of make a short description of why I did it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so Betsy, you think,
Yes.
it's a 6 p.m. meeting?
Yeah,
Can you get us on early agenda?
yeah. That'd actually be nice. I usually get pushed to the
I actually have a class that night, which
Okay.
I signed up for, so I'm telling the truth. And I think they'll be in favor of more money coming into the town coffers.
Right.
I think so.
I don't think it'll be a long discussion, but we will
Yeah.
provide more
Yeah.
support.
well,
And
they'll,
let's just
they'll make
present
it.
this, a you know, a
Yeah.
Right,
comparison.
that's right. You know, we go through a process. We don't just
But that's a
work
lot
the
of,
number up.
yeah,
You did, that's a very nice job.
I know,
Yeah.
that's a lot of research.
Yeah, thanks, Betsy.
The people that bid for the 2,300, whatever,
Yeah,
how is that broken down? Do they, when they give you the bid, do they break it down?
so we put the bid together and we put, I think there's about 6 line items for costs. There's the spring cleanup, the fall cleanup, which each have a cost. There's the mowing and trimming. There's the fertilizing and rubbing. And I think there may be one other, and then you get the total cost, which is the 23,300. It's based on a unit price, so it depends on how many mowings they do a year. So I can tell them to stop, like this year, they're dressed. Well, you shouldn't be able to mow. There's no reason.
But you don't actually give them the same amount every year, no matter what.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's the estimated quantities, so we based the bid on estimated quantities. What actually happens could be under, could be over.
Okay.
And if it goes over, then we have to do an amendment. This is.
What are they gonna do?
And we'll make sure we have enough.
It's process.
That size.
Right, and I think it's just municipal, the prevailing wages, the municipal costs, I think it's really drive it. What's that?
Are they union?
No.
No,
they're
but,
not.
no, but because they're working for a municipality, the municipality requires prevailing wage. I run across that a lot.
Basically doubles the cost of it.
What's prevailing?
That's
It's
the
a-
union wage.
I know.
Yes, it is. It's wage set by the state for certain projects that you have to pay, you know, labor who's a lawnmower has to get a set hourly rate.
Okay.
And municipalities have to adhere to this.
Okay.
And then they have a living wage,
I mean, you know,
which we all want,
I know.
a living wage.
yeah,
All right,
okay.
So is that our achievement for today, or are we gonna keep
well,
talking?
no, next item on the agenda is new business and schedule the next meeting.
Okay, should we schedule the next meeting?
Yep.
Month from today is March 6th. First day of Women's History Month. Does that work Mondays? Is Monday be around, Sam?
I'm looking.
It's nice to be in person.
I know.
And no one.
March 6th, yeah, I don't think I go out to the 12th.
All
I
right,
know I'm going out from the 12th to the 19th.
March 6th, 4:30 p.m.
like a good plan to me.
Are we gonna, I think a tour isn't a bad idea.
Like, never been over there?
I have been over there
I have to,
and things
I drove,
change.
Penny and I drove over there.
I walked that a lot when I did the Legion.
In the Legion to honor against your veteran.
Yeah.
Which service?
Navy.
Yay, were you on a nuclear?
No, I was smarter
No, you gotta be smart to run those nuclear ones.
than that. No, you don't.
Oh, it's right there inside.
You weren't on the submarine.
Nope.
One of my brothers was in the Navy, went to Sicily, Sardinia.
Wow.
Way
All right, so it's, are we gonna walk it or not?
That's you, go ahead. I walked it so many times, putting markers down there.
I would say let's.
Twice a
wait
year.
till it Gets warmer weather.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just trying.
Yeah,
well, I might bike through, it's a good way to see it. I have my own, yeah, I actually, I biked the one at Devon's. You can from Italy and Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
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 So
And
I'll redo
babies.
this.
But there's the baby over there, you know, marriage.
All right, are we gonna carry on?
What?
We're gonna keep meeting. I'm just saying, the meeting on the agenda, it says 4:30 to 5:30, so,
And the next thing on the agenda is adjournment.
okay, we don't wanna do any, we don't wanna do any regulation.
Well, you asked a
Keep
question,
hacking away. I mean, I skipped the meeting, to the next meeting, just get that done. So are we gonna talk some more about regulations? I think we should, because it's a lot. Maybe, can we go until 6 and talk about regulations as long as we're here?
I do not care.
I'm with me. How about you?
That's, I can stay, so whatever.
I know, you got youth sports.
No.
That's very bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
we can do
We're here.
whatever you like.
I think we're here, let's start going through them. So are we gonna, what's our process gonna be? To add, to look at these others and add to the air ones?
Well, I wasn't thinking along those lines. What I was thinking of is I would look at the other ones, I look at airs. And I would try to put together a
This sheet,
breakdown
yeah,
on our regulations. Starting with like our scope of it, the definitions, moving into the lots, the fees, and then, you know, just keep breaking it down step by step. So that it is self-explanatory as someone goes through there.
Right.
I have not even got the format that I like yet, so. We
Well,
can keep working, I'm gonna keep working on it.
I like we don't have to reinvent the wheel thanks to all this put in here, because it
Yeah.
takes a lot of time to write it
Yeah.
from
yeah,
scratch.
because he took,
It
well, he
does.
took this and put it on that side.
Right.
It does.
And then, once we get on this side, then can you do your thing to put it A, B?
Well, I
C,
can,
1, 2, 3?
that's not a problem. The only thing that I really have to address is whether or not we want to do some of the things that we're gonna have in there. Do we want to do
Well,
them?
that's what I'm saying, let's work on that now and say maybe what we want to do.
That's
Let's
fine.
start, should we just
Yeah.
start right at the first page?
Sure,
So we
that's,
can,
that's where you
That's
start.
a good idea.
all right.
All right,
The first one says, number one says block maybe.
no.
Actually.
Back up,
What?
go to the next line up.
Oh,
What's the purpose?
purpose of the.
There you go, human remain.
And when purchasing cemetery lots, you are purchasing the right to bury human remains in the cemetery. Perpetual care must also be purchased for the maintenance of lots. Ownership of the property remains with the town's care.
Yes.
That's simple enough.
I like
Well,
I think that's good. Want to add anything?
no, that's okay.
I don't know.
I think it's well stated.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, even on
look at the
the,
other things.
who's got the deed, who issues the deeds?
That's actually will be by the commission.
We will.
So I'll prepare them in the future. I'll bring them to a meeting and you'll.
How will you identify the deed?
Do they state on the deed that you're buying the right to bury?
Yeah, so the deed will say all the jargon. It'll have the lot number or grave. 496J and who is in it. And so right now I have when someone approaches us for a deed, they fill out a deed application form and it fills out all the info we would need to complete a deed.
Okay.
And then that has to be signed off by the commission when they make that purchase. So that has to be done at a commission meeting. So
Okay.
that's how it works. So we have sold a few, technically, you know, we're still getting up to speed here, so there's some there sort of that I have to bring to the commission.
Okay,
To have signed on, yeah,
so
Do we need to write that out?
Yeah, that should go, that should go in, that should go into our,
minutes.
no, into
No.
the,
Regulation.
regulation,
Oh, right,
yeah.
right.
that one could come along later.
Let's see what number that's in.
Hmm.
I don't think it's done. This is one monument above ground for deed.
How,
Yeah, I don't remember seeing
I
that.
think it should be, I think it should say one monument.
For grave lot,
For grave lot,
well, why don't we just,
well,
because like if you buy two or three, this is one headstone.
Yeah.
For those two or three.
for the family, whatever,
Yes.
yeah.
How about, you want me just to come up with some language of what I just said?
about the lot
meeting?
needs?
Yeah, for the next meeting and put it in here.
Yeah,
So now,
So I got this
Okay.
one from Mary
Yeah.
today, and that's what they do about the lots,
the sizes,
sizes,
and, okay. Okay,
yeah, so St. Mary's, are saying that
If you-
one single lot, you're allowed a 2x1, or 2 or 3 grade lot, you're allowed a 3x1. 4 to 7 in a row is 4 by 1 1/4. The 8 or more in a row is 5 feet.
you're talking about headstones?
That's done.
Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? Some cemeteries stipulate size
Mhm.
and form
And height,
and height.
correct,
Others do not.
right,
We don't.
right.
We gonna do something about that, or are you gonna leave it alone?
No, I think we should have a size limit. For,
If there's anything that comes abnormal, I will always ask the cemetery commissioners. So
yeah,
you want to.
But that's kind of like after it's already on the ground.
No,
no,
just before.
Westfield requires a permit. for
Permit,
your
yeah, I was
headstone
gonna
to
ask
review
them.
it. Maybe we should
Right.
do that.
I like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I tried doing that. At St. Mary's.
All right, let's, $20 fee. Does that go
I
back
was
in our
$25.
fees? All right, maybe it should be 50, inflation. Does that go? Do we amend that motion?
No,
no, that was,
that's done.
that's just the fees,
That's
but
just the fee.
right now we
Let's-
just work on
How
the
do
regs.
how do we get on page 2? We didn't finish page 1.
Well.
What'd you do that for? Don't
It's
do that.
talking about monuments. You're talking about monuments.
How did we get there? We didn't finish page 1.
I don't know. I started.
I don't know,
You did.
Anything wrong?
You. What I wanted to get at was the lots are purchased by past or present residents.
Yeah,
So,
And how long?
how
A
long?
month?
well, that's the point, I guess. Do you want to open it to any and all? Is it for current residents only? I mean, how do you want to determine this?
Yeah, like some of my adult children they lived here for a few months.
Well, if you own the lot, then family members can go in that lot.
It's not what it
Well,
says.
Where does it say that?
It says lots may be purchased by past or present
So we're
residents.
talking about whoever purchased it. I would say purchasing should be past or present.
So I could purchase it for somebody who doesn't live here.
The lot could be purchased. It doesn't say anything about who used it.
Oh, yeah.
It just says purchased by.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a matter of definition.
Yeah,
We need to define. Should be lots may be purchased and used by past or present residents of Ayer.
and
In-
good. Use,
Interred, or, yeah,
Yeah.
use slash intern.
and once we get these regs to a point where we're drafted, we town council over.
Yeah,
Okay, and a resident, we must define a resident of Ayer is someone who,
Yeah, for what length of time?
yeah,
90 days?
yeah,
no, I would say at least 5 years.
Would you say that?
Some of them, I saw one
I think that's
somewhere.
pretty strict.
I think it's very strict.
Yeah,
This one, let's see, Rockport,
yeah, I see, right.
20 years, Rockport.
yeah, and a registered voter,
Yeah,
owner of property in the town.
Well, if you can't do it as a registered voter if it's juvenile.
exactly.
Mhm.
And you can't be in registered, not everybody owns property in town, because
No.
they rent.
Rockport is a little over the top if you ask
Yeah.
me. And Westford doesn't,
Doesn't have, you didn't have anything for West.
Yeah, they don't have a regulation on that,
Uh,
so that's
How
why
about
we get
Maine?
inquiries from Texas.
and then how do you prove someone lived here for 20 years or 5 years or 1 month?
Voters registry.
Maybe my adult kid, like you say, the kid didn't live, didn't register to vote while they were here.
It's tough, though.
The deed.
And are we gonna check it before we let them know? We just say,
This is purchasing it
yeah,
by current
are
member,
we gonna require proof of that? And how are they gonna prove?
different driver's license.
No, no, look at, we bought our house in Ayer in '01. We didn't move until '06. One of my sons lived there for 4 months. In the summer, I can't remember how to.
Yeah, but if you're purchasing a lot, that's what I'm saying, is if you're the resident now. So your son who doesn't live here cannot purchase a lot.
Okay, but interred, someone who's past or present.
How many grades you gonna buy?
How many more?
How many grades you gonna buy?
Yeah, if you buy, how many?
1, 2, 5.
Say,
I don't know.
just,
They're adults, so I'm just saying, for example.
okay, yeah. Like I bought mine and my husband's gonna buy it in Brighton already. That's it. My daughter, wherever she's,
She's on her own.
yeah, kids are on their own, but.
But you know, what if something, God forbid, what if something
Something
happens
happens.
to one of these kids, you know?
Yeah, I know. Then you have to figure that out.
Yeah, but how, this is, yeah,
So the way it's gone in the past, someone owns a lot,
right,
whoever. Susan owns a lot, she has determination who can go on the lot.
a lot of how many graves.
Yeah.
How many did I buy?
So the Phil Browns bought 10 lots,
Right.
made them tell us who's going where. In that 10 grade lot.
Yeah, which is actually what we have on that deed application form,
Okay,
so that you can say this is intended for.
so if you say that number was. You showed us that picture, it's just 496,
496, yeah.
A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
like that. So we'd say, Joe goes in A, Mary goes in B, yada, yada.
Right,
That I don't know, but this, that was one way time.
so the question is,
Yeah.
the question is, how strict are we gonna be? And how do we prove it, you know?
And
What have they done in the past? Has it been a resident?
It was a resident to a certain point, and I can't remember when they changed that. Like I said, it was only 2 grade lot.
From non-resident?
Yeah, they were not right.
See, part of the
I
thing,
can't remember the reason why he wanted one in the air, other than he had friends in the air.
Well,
Or he could have been from Devon's?
He knows Harvard.
Oh,
this is, I really think we need to define it and tighten it up,
yeah,
because if in fact we allow green burial, we would be one of the few in the state that did, and that would open up a very large audience.
correct. So you should, I don't know, I think we should limit it to air residents or.
I agree with that.
I think it's good to limit to air too, because in the master law, the town is supposed to have a cemetery for people to be buried who are in town. technically.
Yeah,
And also it's easier operationally, which is operational standpoint, to deal with the local funeral home.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
you got out of state,
oh,
it's been a challenge sometimes.
So I can't remember her name, she came from California, but she was a past resident.
yeah, we've had that.
so then we
Yeah.
asked the
And that's
town.
the farthest one that no one's ever came.
Maybe that has to be listed on the town clerk registry, because they keep a record of that each year you register as a resident.
Oh, the census,
Yeah, the census.
yeah.
Because my guess is Rockport ran out of space. You
Yeah,
know, when I worked in Belmont, I was a reporter. This is 20 years ago. People hated that they couldn't be buried in Belmont. They were distraught.
Because they ran out of space?
And land in Belmont is expensive.
Oh, yes. So where they
It
go?
broke their
What
hearts.
happened?
I don't know.
Oh.
It broke their hearts. So do we,
Yeah.
it seems like we have a lot of space. Space is not a problem right now.
Yeah, but, yeah, so I,
So one thing you guys probably don't realize, and took me quite a few years to figure it out. Some cemeteries, you can buy 3 or 4 lots. It's the size of one lot grave, how far down you dig.
So you could go on top of each other. Is
Well,
that
that's
legal?
okay.
That it's legal,
Yeah.
but then. A lot of other things come into play. You need to make sure there's something that keeps the walls from falling in on you.
the vault,
That's an OSHA thing.
Mhm, yeah.
right.
Yeah,
There are some, where my,
Well, some
excuse me, where my mother-in-law's
Arlington
buried,
does.
there's a,
That's
I forget where it is,
And then you can triple and quadruple.
deep. Well, the only one that cemetery I know of that has 2, deep, is where my mother-in-law's buried, I can't remember. the
Where is
cemetery.
she buried?
I can't remember,
Arlington.
Arlington probably.
Like Arlington National?
No,
Yeah.
no, well,
Yeah. Yeah, if you're buried in Arlington, if you go before your wife, she can be buried on top of you.
And it's probably crowded.
And it's very crowded. And the headstone, same headstone, but her name's on the back.
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think one layer is. We've got enough room for one layer, we don't, I don't. I don't.
I
Well,
don't think
you
you
know,
worry about it yet.
No,
well, I'm looking at from costs. It's expensive to die. Not everybody has, you know, $1,000 to buy a grave. I'd be in favor of helping people by going 2 or 3 deep. Use the land better, but
that would be important health.
It's not an important health thing, it's comes to safety thing.
Can you
Because
go 2 deep?
when I first started, after a couple of years, there was somebody who dug a grave, and he said it was 8 feet down, and the grave had filled up with water. About, no, and about, it was about 8 feet down, grave had filled in with water.
Okay.
He's trying to get it out, and then it fell in on
Anything more than 4 feet, you gotta have a,
him, 4.5.
no, 4 foot, you need a bulkhead.
4.5.
You need a
protection.
You need the.
You
For
gotta have-
trans protection, yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't know how hard it's gonna take, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more complicated. Where my sister-in-law, her dad was buried, there's 4 graves. But I think they cleared the land, put the caskets in, and came back and refilled everything in. It was a huge cemetery down in Rhode Island.
yeah, someone had a suggestion that you dig a big row, you put all the vaults in,
Yep,
and cover it up, and then they're already there.
All
I
right.
think it's like that now.
Did we just come to an agreement, single deep?
Single deep.
I'm gonna put this in the notes, so we don't have to cover the same ground over and over.
But we gotta-
We haven't
I
decided,
was
about-
gonna say,
we haven't decided about the resident.
who has been registered that is on the town clerk rolls, what I call
Well,
census?
We,
So how
we,
about this?
we've
For right
decided,
now, you have to be a resident, you change it and
but we-
rather than a past resident, you have to be a resident. Is that what you're suggesting?
how it says here, past or present resident of Ayer. And if you think like you're not getting a lot of burials, people buying lots, you can open it up.
To non-residents, you mean,
Or
or
non-residents if you want.
how?
Why would we be concerned about people not buying lots?
Income.
Right, yeah, but we also haven't decided how we're gonna, prove that someone's a resident.
That's 2 different things.
I suggested the census.
They do that every 5 years, though, don't they?
No, every year, don't you get something in the mail? Who lives
I don't
there?
see
Yeah, I already got it,
I don't see it. Maybe Janice gets it. I don't see it.
yeah.
So if you have a car, don't you
Janice,
get a tax bill?
Janice
Right.
Livingston? This is right. I didn't know that.
But yeah,
That's my tenant.
but somebody, The census is for January, as of January first, these people live in the house. Yes or no, whatever,
Or an
or your
apartment.
or whatever. But so say somebody moves in April and moves out in November.
Now we're splitting hairs.
I know, yeah, but then they're not gonna, well, even if they move in April, they're not gonna be on the census until.
They might not have filled out the form either. I'm just
Right.
saying, if we want a definition.
I would
and-
say driver's license or a bill of.
But what if the driver's license from 20 years ago? I lived here for 6 months and now I want to be buried in here. We're gonna split hairs.
Maybe you could put like, in the case of a discrepancy. You know, it shall be at the purview of the cemetery
Yeah,
commission.
sure.
But are we gonna
Something like that.
require people to prove this?
That they're
Probably not. I don't
they're
think many people
resident.
will be. It's not, but
Say that again?
I said probably not, and I don't think, well, I don't think we'd run into the situation often, but.
We'd find, yeah, I mean, the normal person, you ask them where they're from. I mean, someone calls you and they wanna buy a lot. What do you ask? What do you ask for now?
If they're past the present resident.
And then they say yes or no.
And you say, you ask them where they live? Or live? Currently?
There's usually somebody I've been able to ask.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we've only, sold 6 deeds, and 3 of them were one family. And then the other 3 were 2 families, and they were all there.
Or here's another.
But how did you know they were from there? What's I'm getting at?
Wait, I have another example. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. I haven't lived there in 30 years. I went to high school there, bada bing. I had to live there. Now I'm proved. I have proof or other proof of residence.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, so when you sold these recently, how did you know they were from there? They just said they were from there, or did you?
I think we just. We knew the people, we knew who they were, and we knew they were Ayer people. It's kind of small town, so it's like one of those deals, so we knew we didn't have to really do research.
That's, I think that's the way it's headed.
Yeah,
We really have,
yeah,
not who you know, right?
yeah,
So,
right, so then we probably should have some kind of
Yeah,
language to say. To sort of narrow it down, but then
right.
have the caveat. That if.
But,
Like yourself,
Definition.
yeah, right.
Maynard didn't specify it.
And on the,
It's gotta be dead. And the cat in St. Mary, did they specify? It just had to be Catholic?
Yeah.
Baptismal
I
certificate?
like the way Rockport did it.
yeah, they're pretty.
They're over the
That's
top.
about, no, but that's about as all encompassing as you're gonna find.
Yeah, but that means they have no land, Stan.
Doesn't matter.
It
Doesn't
does
matter.
matter. We don't have a land problem. Why do we have to be so tight about it?
Like the first one, not to be sold to non-residents or summer residents.
Yeah, we don't have the same problem. Yeah, I'm not in favor of that. Registered to vote, wow.
Resident shall be further defined as an individual whose legal residence is maintained in Rockport, is registered to vote in Rockport, or is the owner on record of property in Rockport. That's pretty much, that's a resident.
I don't think we have to go that far.
Well,
We don't have a land problem.
today, we don't have a land problem today.
Then they can change it in the future if we run out of space. You want to protect it against a lot of people coming for a green burial. This would protect it from that, right? To protect it from a future problem.
Do we? I was gonna think, do we leave it kind of more ambiguous, like the burden of proof shall be on the person, the purchaser of the lot? I don't know.
I think we ought to table that one until we can come up with a better idea.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna agree on it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna leave it the way it is.
Leave it the way it is for now, and then we
Residents, and then-
come up with an alternative at our next meeting, and we can kick it around.
Because we might be creating problems for ourselves and just more administrative costs. Where's your proof? Like,
Yeah.
there, where's your proof?
There might be some other town language that's, not quite as tight as Rockport, but more.
We
like-
could
Well, there,
add,
you know,
we could just add that, on a case by case basis. It goes through the.
what constitutes a resident? That's what we're trying to determine. What constitutes a resident?
I think you have. to-
Somebody lives here for how long?
Minimum 3 months,
90 days.
90, that's what I'm doing.
And then how do you prove it? Like you say, they're not on the rolls, they're in the high school here.
Bill. And
Say
then,
again?
they have to have a bill.
I guess I go back to the example of my son. God
You know, what's,
forbid.
what's interesting? Do you have a driver's license?
Me,
Yes.
I do.
Is it one of the new ones, the little gold star on it? How did you get that? What did you have to show?
prove? I
You had to
show
prove.
bill.
You had phone bills,
Even-
telephone.
even bill from
You
people.
had there's a stack of 6 different items you have to give the registry in order to meet their requirements.
Why do we have to do this?
I'm not saying you have to do that for that, I'm just making an example. If they have to do it for a driver's license for purposes of identification, why would you not do it for
So let's
purposes
say
of
somebody-
resident? You're trying to establish a resident.
Right.
Past and present. So somebody lived here 20 years ago.
That's the way it's
30 years
written right
ago.
now. That doesn't mean we're gonna change it. You said the same thing. Do we want to do it
How
for
far past?
how far
Mhm.
past? I mean,
And do we need to create this extra level of management for the people who are running this? What's,
I
for what
think-
purpose?
I think that before the deed is issued, it should be self-supporting. It should be, not self-supporting. Self-certification.
Yeah, that is on that application form they give me.
Yeah,
They acknowledge the rules and regulations and, the requirements of those.
and I would
Sign off on it.
side with Betsy on that.
Yeah,
Residency is 90 days or more.
You know, it's traumatic enough when someone dies and just to add more burden to it.
But the survivors are not the one doing this. Survivors not handling this.
Who's handling it? You're saying purchase in advance?
Sometimes, rarely.
Rarely, but
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's mortuary.
They buy the grave.
No, the funeral home.
And how's the mortuary?
No, they did in Westfield, funeral home
No.
purchased it. Well, I had to pay for it.
Did they require you prove residency?
Yep,
David, is Anderson
How did you prove it?
No.
License.
purchased or
That you lived there,
kind of act as an intermediary,
or that she lived there?
purchased a while ago. I don't know.
These
I
lots
figured I had to buy 2 lots,
these-
Would you?
for this year, yes.
and I'll never use it. My name's on the headstone.
One was,
What did you have to
the one was prepaid.
That's how they sold it?
Um,
I did have 2 people come in.
Why not
Family
use it?
members
You
came
want
in
to get
to
buried
pay
there?
us and everything for that, but yeah.
No, I'm going early.
go, Like Anderson told them, this is the process.
yeah, once in a while, someone will come and say,
Yeah, my
But I wanna see where
sister's
it is.
father-in-law got into
Right.
it. It was a big deal.
Physically
They
take
put them right at home.
They
Mrs. People.
keep tightening up the restrictions more and
You think
more and
this-
more and more
hold on.
because
No space.
they're running out of real estate.
Just a lot, like.
Oh.
This woman came to California,
Did you
Oh.
find any?
so this is a case where,
Vietnam.
her son is living
Yeah,
on
one of my
California.
brothers
She
fought
was
Vietnam,
Yeah,
survived.
She, her, I guess the last.
14
she's
months.
Buried here and there, she.
Did you
over
leave
there.
her hearing?
and she'd already heard.
A lot of it, yeah.
A lot. So did my brother.
No, she,
But I-
had everything set
Yeah,
up.
It wasn't
with
easy
Anderson's,
on him.
Okay,
Prepaid.
okay. But that's just prepaid the funeral, not the
He
lot.
had a lot of benefits.
He paid for everything.
You have to buy
Yeah,
a
and then
house, start a
Anderson pays.
business, but he's survived.
When they pay for the
Yep.
burial.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
In
they-
front of
Oh,
100%
So when it's done,
VA
it's
on the first house.
a little easier for us operationally from administrative.
I didn't
There was a
ever do
big
that.
price to pay them.
Listen, sometimes people say.
I'd
"Well, we
rather
wanna see
not
the
go."
lot."
Were you young?
Right.
18.
I
You
just
were-
like to do people at
Were
the
you
same
drafted?
time.
No, I was in boot camp, but I got my draft notice.
Um. So yeah, okay, you're gonna say resident should be 90 days or more. The past part we have to work on, and we're not gonna talk about the. You want it 90 present, 90.
Lots may be purchased by residents of Ayer. Define a resident as someone who has resided here
Minimum.
a minimum of 90 days. How's that sound?
And if we need to tighten it up, we can, or in the future, they can change.
Yeah.
Okay,
I agree with that.
okay.
And you're not defining food.
No, because it goes on, it's on the application for the deed.
Application for the
So
deed.
they're saying that they have, it's their. Okay, good. All
And
right,
then
boy, these regulations are gonna take about 3 years to get through.
You should have been with me on the personnel board.
Oh, yeah.
That was a long.
Is on the application of what? People can do some weird stuff.
It's really called a. I'll get you. It's on the web now. It's odd, sale, I think, hold on, let me.
Deed.
Cemetery. commission.
All right, people, how long are we gonna go for?
Woodlawn Cemetery lot purchase request. That's what it's called.
Should we finish this page?
You're finished.
Page number 2? We agree?
Two's already done.
Yes.
We already took care of two. That's when we changed the fee.
Let's go to the next page. We're on the middle.
You guys started on that one already.
It's about monuments.
Yep.
Number 3.
Where are we at?
Number 3, monuments.
Rock point.
Okay, there's, Westford has two things. If you, they have a permit to request to put in a monument. And they have two different prices with my machines. If you want an upright monument, the grade is XYZ. If you want flat market, it's less.
Yeah, you're not
So-
weed whacking.
So somebody wants a marker. Now, my limited experience is the marker was brought in by the stonemason that the family bought the marker from.
Correct.
So who gets the permit, family or the stonemason? I don't know how they did it out there. I just, my daughters paid for it.
Westford,
Yeah.
yeah. It's Westford, and I've done the same.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they call, above prices up here are for the lot with monument privilege. So I call them, so what's a monument privilege? Monument privilege means you can put an upright headstone on it.
Mhm.
So that's the one price up here. The prices down here of the cost to buy a lot, without monument privileges, which means a flat marker. So they charge two different prices for their lots. Based on whether you want.
I don't see a lot of flat markers over Woodlawn.
Majority of them mostly for
The
Ballsbury here, Marysbury here,
Yeah.
Silverberry here, and there's one upright.
the family lands.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then there's veterans markers.
yeah,
The ones that the VA give you are flat to begin with.
yeah, they're 2x1.
Yeah.
2x1, yeah.
But you can still get a veteran upright marker.
You can?
Really?
Usually you can, white ones.
I thought they were only doing the flat ones now.
I don't know, but I thought you could.
All the years I know, they.
The flat cats, yeah,
Grass or granite, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no, unless it's something with the monument company, I don't know. but they can do it.
No, because all the military markers are,
All the ones I've seen is cats. I've not even seen the granite ones.
oh, yeah, we have a couple, but they're all come from the VA
Yep,
and they're free
yeah.
and the monument company doesn't get them in.
Yeah, there's a couple uprights on the VA form request form, upright granite, upright marble.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't think of the name, but I can drive over there and show you where there is an upright one. Oh, I can't really remember his name.
That's the VA form, application form for a marker. So at any time, that's a federal form anyway.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
back to the original question. We should have a permit, yes, but to whom? Is it the family? When the family don't put the markers in, a mason does.
Monument company.
Monument company, okay. The only one I've seen is in Fitchburg, I thought.
There's Vitalis, it's in Fitchburg, there's Lummiston Monument, and then Lummiston Monument bought,
no,
there's one in Clinton too.
Yeah,
So
That's-
but they're the ones that put them in.
Yes,
yeah, so they work with the family, design it and
yeah,
create it, and then Westford has the permit application form that they review. Whatever the sketch is that the monument company prepares, make sure it meets these requirements that.
Yeah.
Westford
Wow.
has.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started doing that at St. Mary's too,
Yeah,
Why did you start?
because people were putting things on, well, it's a Catholic cemetery. So you cannot have non-Catholic images on the gravestone.
Mm,
And people were starting to do that, so I made every monument company fax me or email me a picture of what they came up with, and it had to be approved by the pastor.
yeah,
So,
a
So
lot of
how's-
times it'll just be, I need one that's 2x1, one's 2.5 by 1. Biggest one I ever did was 6 feet by 18 inches.
and so David prepares the foundations for the concrete foundation.
yes, okay.
and do we charge for that?
It's fine.
His time,
Well, where is
But
that?
on the piece, where is that in the fee structure?
It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
My feet structure,
no,
it's me.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, I think that ought to be included in the cost of the permit.
yeah,
The cost of the grave lot.
yeah,
No, the cost of the permit.
Permit for a
Oh.
headstone.
$900, what the heck, I mean, 200. We're just piling fees on.
Pay, well,
So flat markers, do you still put a concrete base on it under it? Yeah.
It became an issue, like I think it was in 2020 besides the pandemic. All these markers are sinking, all these markers, because there's nothing underneath them.
Right.
Why wasn't there anything underneath?
Because they were
It
just
wasn't
sitting on
required back, when I started in 92, they decided they want any flat marker went into the cemetery, whether veterans or not, had to have cement footing underneath. to help It will
Yeah.
sink eventually, but
that. Yeah,
not.
not as quickly,
Not as quickly.
yeah. So,
if you make the permit $100, you include the
The
concrete
concrete.
base for the marker.
that's a good idea.
That
For a
cover?
veterans marker, you like a bag and a half.
But
I
in
don't
your
know how
labor,
much.
in your labor bill.
So is that about $100 or not? Or more?
I used to get $50 for doing it, and someone here would pay for the cement. And
Let's do 100.
it just depends if I
Yeah.
get too carried away putting in too much cement.
Don't be carried away.
I try not to.
All right, so
All
we
right.
need to come up with a permit.
$100.
yeah, I think it's a good idea, maybe use Westford as a template.
Template.
Yeah.
I can
So,
work on that.
Dan,
You wanna do that,
Yeah.
Betsy?
are you taking notes on this? Because I'm not putting this in minutes. I'm just putting, we had a discussion. I only put the motions.
I've been taking notes, yeah, up to what the changes are on here, so then we can look
Then
at this table.
I'm not
Yeah.
putting that all in the minute,
No, you can just say we discussed and we're
Right.
focused on the
but we have,
regulation.
I put the motions in. Okay,
So is this form online I can get?
Yeah, it's on Westford's website, yeah, or I can email it.
Okay.
It's very specific,
Yeah.
but you know, whatever you come up with, that's, I'm okay.
And we did have one inquiry this year, or earlier this year, where they wanted to put a bench down on a single,
Oh, yeah, I've heard
Right,
people
right.
do that.
and it was on the corner.
Clinton,
What's that?
was that the one in Clinton?
Might have been, but I remember we told them, they couldn't do it. 'Cause
Well-
they put a ring in there.
So no one's buried there yet.
Yeah,
They said they need such big, the put in to be so big.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, one point, there's this block there. Say 1 foot by 2 feet wide by, I don't know, 2 feet high, 3 feet high. And I guess the family didn't like it.
Just the big block was sitting there. Yeah.
Supposedly, that's why you go there, you talk what you
Yeah.
want and you draw it out.
Okay.
Like I said, just. The one big headstone I put in that was a 6 feet wide, that went in front of the board. There is a bench over there. That's not too far from that one. Woman that they own the lot, she's no one buried there. It looks like a T, but they call it a bench. She
A
says, anybody
T?
want a T? And I thought it was gonna be like a regular bench, but it's not.
Oh,
And
how was it
it
held
had to
on?
be,
Oh,
Probably pin,
yeah,
I would think.
glued and pinned.
hmm.
So it had to be approved by the cemetery committee. There's like I think it's an eagle, it's on the front. Almost the front row by the gas station. Had to be approved by the cemetery. The biggest, an eagle. The only thing I'd be worried about something like that, if someone comes along with this.
Wax it, yeah.
And so that was, I can't imagine how much money it costs to do that one.
Yeah.
So it just, it got approval. All right,
I'm gonna see, we need to have sizes, I think. Regulation. Is that
Yeah.
for there?
Yeah, why not? But you have it on the application.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. Now, if you have a head marker, say it's a 4-grade lot with mom, dad, and a couple of kids. You allow that, I would have all the names on the headstone and no flat markers unless it was the military.
sometimes it's just, his mom. His dad, his.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Yeah. And they put them flat and as well as having a headstone. So do we want to continue to let that?
Well, that would be something that has to put in on the application.
Yeah, what they want.
And then there's border markers. You don't see that too often, but
Yeah.
it happens every once in a while.
So David, do you think this covers it all? To make it easy on you, Betsy, if this is,
I don't think we should.
this is.
Well, I don't think we should
super
use that much of it.
No,
It's super specific.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
if it's,
well, the other thing, a
Outside.
bench, most benches have to have at least a 2 or 3 grade lot. You can't do a bench on a single grade lot.
It's a very narrow bench.
Are we gonna allow benches?
I would say no.
I would like not to.
All right, let's say no benches.
But someone's gonna say there's one that looks like a bench.
It's
Oh,
just
well.
a block.
yeah, what do we got out there?
What's it look like that? Was it a block?
So when you go into section 4. Turn left. Go straight back. And there was an old woman's home. Like I don't want to say a pentagon, but it looks something like a pentagon. It's like right behind that. Almost go to the back of the cemetery and you should see it.
Back left,
Back left,
okay,
not all the way to the back, but
towards the back left.
towards the back.
If they say, but there's one already, well, the regulations have been changed, the ownership
Yeah.
is transferred to the
Yeah.
town. I just have to do it in full. You didn't make it.
The other thing is that from my experiences, the benches, they put a column here and a column here, and they set the granite on top. It's not pinned. And
It would come off. Yeah.
it would come off if someone pushed it, because I had to do something once. I go, wait a second. So I called them up, I said, no, just setting it.
A lot of times, I guess way back when, what they would do is when they're ready to bring them over, they pour the cement and they bring the heads over, set it down.
In the wet
In
sand.
the
Wet
wet
cement?
cement, but it
Yeah.
doesn't get done anymore.
Yeah.
So. So a single grade lot. It says 2 by 6 by 1 by 6 by 3. So
Each?
usually, if it's a single grade lot, I tell them 2.5 by a foot,
Okay, good. So,
and then the height, and height is usually around 2 feet. I don't know.
I don't know, so are we gonna have a height restriction? I
Well,
don't.
3 feet's about the average.
have-
Yeah.
Average,
Yeah.
So
Are we gonna
2.5,
have restrictions? It's a good
Well, I don't-
question.
2 by 1 is big
that's
enough
the
for
base.
single.
2
That's
foot
the
by 1
base.
foot's the base,
Yeah,
and then 3 feet high.
yeah, because this is what St. Anthony has. 1 lot, 2 by 1.
Could you scroll up?
I don't,
I
don't,
don't know if that's,
It's a 2-page thing.
I think,
Oh, it is,
I think
yeah.
we ought to just kind of
Then
focus
it's
on the
really
single
being,
lot, because that's the way it's gonna go. You're not gonna be selling family lots, I don't
we're
think.
gonna,
Oh, you
the
wait
most you sell is 2.
two.
Yeah,
Once a month.
One's a
There
lot.
was one this summer, they bought 3. The grandmother passed away. The daughter bought one for her and her son. Well, she paid for all of them, but. There's one for her and her son. Residents there.
well, we can go single or double
Yeah,
if you want, but I would, I don't see family lots anymore. It just,
yeah,
the family unit's broken down pretty bad. I mean, most of the time, unless they're living in their parents' basement, they're gone.
yeah, we could just do single
Used to
lot,
be people didn't move.
2 or 3. or-
That's true. Now gone.
But there still are people hanging around. living-
Yeah. We could, I'd say a single, a 2 or 3 grade lot on a 4 or 6 grade lot, and then after that, to be determined. Because I don't
Give
think,
you an estimate.
yeah, I just, you know. So the most you've sold recently is only 3 lots. 4? Yeah,
To one family.
4, yeah,
No, 3 to one family.
3 to 1 family, that's what I mean,
When's the last time? you
Oh,
sold-
that was this past summer.
okay,
When's the last time you sold more than that?
to 1 family.
Down family. That was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I move we adjourn by 6:30, so should we wrap up this?
Yeah, I don't think, yeah, I agree.
Okay,
I don't know. it was-
Or I moved, you seconded?
what?
So
Go
moved.
ahead.
No, so in 2021, there was 8 graves sold, that's in section 5. Not,
That's a
by-
new
not,
section.
not to one person, but they're all the same family.
But, and that's the new section that has been
That's in
given,
this section.
so there's so.
Well, I told, it wasn't anything written, but it was a stipulation, you're not gonna be wanting to use it within the next couple of years.
You really
They
can't make
wanted
that
to want-
stipulation. I mean,
Oh, okay.
Well,
that's kind of presumptuous, isn't it?
So, people, I think we should be saving these.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Return, so
My
I'm
notes are on.
gonna make a note, we got as far as page, number 3.
Item 3.
Page
Yeah.
2, item 3, so you know where to start in case we forgot. On the next meeting, which is March 6th at 4:30 p.m. So Betsy, you're just gonna do this and we're gonna approve it, right?
But,
Yeah, just-
Well, I'm gonna keep working, I'm gonna keep plugging away on the regulation,
Well, no, the form. the
Yeah.
form. That to me,
and you're going,
you have the experience.
the permit, $100,
Right,
with the installation of the concrete footing for the marker.
right,
Yes.
right, we agreed on that. I second.
What did I write? Permit, this is $100, including cement.
Okay.
Yes, all right. With the minutes.
Just one extra.
Like, yeah,
You said you were here, some for recycling. I don't need the minutes, I have the minutes.
okay.
Keeping that, okay,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
How do we put this on?